welcome back to my channel. I'm really excited for today's video. I'm going to be talking to you about 10 Ulta bestsellers that I personally think are worth the money. I recently saw Andrea Matillano do this video, and then I recently posted the Sephora version of this, and now we're doing the Ulta. So I will have my Sephora video linked as well as Andrea's video, and today we're talking about Ulta bestsellers that I personally think are worth the money. So if you are interested, stay tuned. First, if you have yet to subscribe to my channel and you like project planning content, or you just like to chit chat about makeup, I would love if you would consider subscribing before moving on. And other than that, let's get into the video. Okay, so Ulta doesn't necessarily have like a bestsellers page, so I kind of had to filter through a lot of things and do it like my own way, but I really tried to focus on products that had 4.5 or 5 stars, starting with 5, and then I'll get to the place in my list where we get to like 4.5 stars. And I also tried to focus on products that had a lot of reviews rather than just like 5 stars but 2 reviews. So that being said, I want to start with one of my favorite makeup products in my entire collection, and it is the Buxom Wonderlust blushes. You guys know I have droned on and on and on and on and on and on about the Buxom Seychelles blush, which is this one right here. It's like one of the most beautiful neutral blushes ever. I haven't used this in a while, and I need to pull this back out. Literally one of my favorite blushes ever. And I have 4 total shades, 3 other shades. So I love these. They are so beautiful. They're like a mix between like a matte and a satin blush. Like they're not totally matte, but they don't make your cheeks like shine like a really glowy blush. It's just such a unique formula, and they are so beautiful. So I absolutely, those are 5 out of 5 stars. I believe 100% agree with that review. Then we have the Kopari Lip Glossy, and I love the Kopari Lip Glossy. What I love about it is it does feel nourishing to the lips, but it also gives this glossy effect like you're wearing a lip gloss rather than just like a lip balm. Right now I'm holding one of the lip scrubs because I've currently gone through all of my lip glossies and need to purchase another one. Ulta has a set for like 30 bucks that I plan to pick up. But I think that the Kopari lip glossies are absolutely worth it. It's $13. They last forever. They have a really, not a really good range of shades, but they have a shade range rather than just like one shade. And I just really love the lip glossy, so I had to say that I agreed with that 5 out of 5 stars. Then I have the Nabla Side by Side palette. This is such an awesome palette, especially if you like neutral tones. I love Nabla's formula. You guys know I've talked a lot about Nabla recently and just really enjoying them as a brand, but I really like that they include a variety of different textures within their eyeshadow palette formula rather than just having like a matte and a shimmer. They have just such beautiful shades. So this is what the Nabla Side by Side looks like. It reminds me a lot of another eyeshadow palette I'm going to talk about, the Soft Glam. But this offers some cooler tone shades. So if you want a palette that's going to give you both warm and cool tones, I love this, especially when you think about like a palette that will be great for travel one day. This just knocks it out of the park for me. The mattes are super easy to work with, very easy to blend. The shimmers, again, they have such unique textures and shimmer formulas. I just can't recommend that palette enough. And then also the Soft Glam palette is on their bestsellers list, so I had to mention this as well. This has been a favorite palette of mine for so many years, it feels like now. And while I wouldn't consider this like my absolute staple favorite palette anymore, I still do really enjoy this palette. I still think it's beautiful. I love the tones, love the shimmers. You really can't go wrong if you need a warm toned neutral palette. This is such a nice one. So I do agree with that product on the bestsellers, being on the bestsellers list. Also a product that I no longer have in my collection, but I do agree it deserves its spot on the bestsellers list, is the Hourglass Veil Translucent Powder. I really enjoyed that powder when I owned it. It is something that I used to say I would repurchase. I'm not necessarily 100% certain I would repurchase it anymore, just because I have the Glossier Powder, which works just as well for me. However, I do still get why it's on the bestsellers list because it is a really, really beautiful powder. Very, very finely milled, does not look cakey on the skin, and also brings life to the face rather than taking the life out of your face like a lot of powders can do. I find a lot of powders make my face look super flat, but it almost has this luminosity to it. The Veil Translucent powder almost has a luminosity to it without being like a luminous powder. It just adds a little something to the face, and I really do like that. I could again see myself repurchasing it, but I could also see myself not, just because I do really like to try new products as well. There's that part of me that, like, if I wasn't on YouTube and if I didn't have a larger collection and I really just stuck to the staples, that I could see being a staple in my collection, but I really like to try new powders, so I'm rambling now. Okay, this next one only had 4 reviews, but I had to include this in this video because ever since I've tried this, I've been like obsessed with this primer. I even said this may replace my First Aid Beauty primer, which if you guys are a longtime subscriber, I find a way to talk about the First Aid Beauty primers in every single video somehow. I just absolutely adore them. But the Milani Chill Out Soothing Primer with Wild Oat Extract and Ceramides, only 4 reviews, but it does have 5 out of 5 stars. I love this. I just think that this is so nice. It does have this slight cooling sensation to the face when you put it on, but nothing that's like, ooh, like that's cold. And it is really smoothing, but I believe it's silicone. Yes, it's silicone free. It just feels really nice on the skin. It feels nourishing. And I've also heard that wild oat extract can be really good if you have irritated skin. So for me, I've had a lot of irritation on my cheeks and chin in this world of the masks. So I find that if I use this consistently, I almost feel like I have less irritation on my skin. And I just think this is a really nice primer for, I think, $10.99. So I had to mention that. Now moving on to the 4.5 and lower. I think I just have 4 more products to talk about. So up first I have another primer. This one is from Tula. It is their Face Filter Blurring and Moisturizing Primer. So I don't find this primer to be a face filter. I really don't think it's that blurring, and I really don't even find it to be that moisturizing. So you guys are probably like, well, why the heck are you talking about it then? I mentioned this before, but I find this to be a really, really nice gripping primer. For some reason, I feel like it has this really nice tack to it that I don't necessarily get from all of my primers. And I find when I wear this, I feel like my makeup lasts longer. And oftentimes I will pair this. For some reason, I just tend to pair this with my tinted moisturizers more often than not. And I find that my tinted moisturizers lasts a lot longer when I use this. So I'm a huge fan of this. I do think it deserves a spot on the bestsellers list, so I wanted to mention that. The Ofra liquid lipsticks, I'm sure many of you have tried these. I'm sure many of you would agree. I feel like this is like a cult classic favorite liquid lipstick formula. It's really nice and comfortable, but it is still pretty long lasting. Not the most drying formula by any means, which is like a huge win in my books. I just do not enjoy a really drying lip formula at all. But I still feel like I get a good like lasting power. Don't get me wrong, like these are like, they dry down like any liquid lipstick would. It's not gonna be like this moisturizing feeling on your lips, but I find that this is one of the more comfortable liquid lipstick formulas that I've tried. And Ofra just has such a wide range of shades within their line. I think they knock it out of the park with their shade range in terms of their liquid lipsticks. So wanted to mention those. The Clinique Cheek Pops are also a very, very like OG cult classic favorite, and I think they definitely deserve a spot on the bestsellers list. This one is in the shade Pink Honey Pop. I think I've owned 3 of these in the past, and I'm down to just the 1 because the other 2 I owned were a little bit more intense, and I had other blushes in my collection. Basically, my blush collection was just out of control, and I wasn't wearing those as much because they were brighter or deeper shades. But this is like the most beautiful neutral pink blush ever, and I love this. This is another one that like is matte but offers just like a hint of like a healthy glow without being super luminous. I don't know, I love this blush formula. I love that it has the cute little flower, and I absolutely think that these are worth the money. And then the last product, mine is in my car or in my purse. It's somewhere, it's lost. But the NYX butter glosses, these are so inexpensive and they last forever. I was gonna say, I feel like they have a good, like a decent shade range for lip glosses, and I just think they're so comfortable. They are a little bit more sticky. These came out a while ago, and I feel like lip gloss has evolved some since these came out, so they are definitely a stickier formula. So if you don't like a sticky gloss, this may not be the gloss formula for you, but I just think in terms of bang for your buck, I love that lip gloss formula. The shade that I currently have, I believe, is in the shade Madeline, which is this beautiful like brown nude shade. It's stunning, it's gorgeous, I love it. I absolutely think that the NYX butter glosses are worth the $5, and I get why they are on the bestsellers list. But after that, that is going to wrap it up for this video, talking about 10 bestsellers at Ulta that I personally think are worth the money. I would love to know, what products do you love from Ulta? Do you think do they deserve to be on the bestsellers list or not? Are there products that have low ratings that you think deserve a higher rating? I would love to know. Let's chat about it in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for sticking around to watch today's video and for supporting my channel as you always do. I love you guys so much, and I will catch you in my next video. Bye.